Well, the CEO of EQC is Sid Miller. He's not fronting for interviews. Fletcher Building aren't fronting for interviews. The minister who oversaw the government's response to the Christchurch earthquakes between September 2010 and May 2017 was Jerry Brownlee. He's not fronting for interviews. But EQC did put up their chief customer officer, Trish Keith. I asked her how many claims are currently open.
Well, last year, from the claims that have been recorded through the last year, the ones that we told you that are still open are 2,624.
Peter Wood said on the program last night there are thousands more to come. Some people simply don't know yet that they will be in the position of coming back to you. Do you think he's right?
I honestly couldn't tell you that.
Can you have a go at estimating the extent to which he's right?
No, I can't, John. No.
You have a lot of material on this, the Auditor General Report 2013, which really did predict all of this and did so on the basis of EQC's own work. 3.3 in that report from October 2013. In our view, there are risks with the way in which EQC has managed repair quality in the program to date. They go on. EQC has identified substandard repairs as a main risk to the home repair program. They go on. One of the main risks that EQC identified for the home repair program was the risk that EQC would be accountable for substandard repair. And in 2013 they say that as at December 2012, quality controls were yet to be fully embedded. December 2012, the earthquake was February 2011. 18 months? No, much closer to 2 years later, you still didn't have quality controls firmly embedded. Is it any surprise so many jobs are returning for a second and third time?
Look, John, that was well before my time, and I absolutely want to reassure you and our listeners and our customers that we will remain here to re-repair homes where it's proven that the damage is caused from the earthquake sequence, and we're committed to doing that.
Martin Weavers, your outgoing chairman, wrote to the minister last Friday, 6 days ago. I should not have to remind you that repairing houses is not and has never been part of the Earthquake Commission's role. We embarked on that pressing national need from a standing start with no suitably experienced staff, systems, capabilities or partners. What he is saying, what EQC itself was saying, what the Auditor General was saying is that much of the work you did in the first 2 years did not have embedded quality controls, did not have the right people doing it and wasn't good enough.
Yeah, and as I say, John, I wasn't here. I really can't make a comment on that.
No, Trish, I know you can't. And Trish, today, I feel really mean about pointing this out because you have fronted. But we asked for an interview with EQC. Obviously, we were going to discuss these things. I mean, this is an Auditor General report from 2013. We have an IMB report saying the same things. Why didn't they give us someone, and I'm not being mean to you, but why haven't you put up someone who can talk about what happened in the 2 years after the earthquakes? Surely that is the most material time period of all.
I believe, John, that we are here to put right those repairs, and that's all I can talk to you about, and my commitment to making sure that we do that.
Sid Miller, where is he? What's he doing? Is he in the office? I mean, he's the CEO. He put out a statement which seemed to be in response to the kinds of things Sir Martin Weavers was saying, the kind of comments that Dr. Megan Woods was saying. And he pointed out that around $9 billion in settlements has been paid out to our customers. $9 billion of money, public money. Now, shouldn't he be here talking about this? Shouldn't the person who is giving us this interview be able to talk about what happened in terms of assessments and scopes in the 2 years after the earthquakes? I'm not giving you a hard time, Trish. I really appreciate you fronting, but you're not the right person to be answering these questions. Where is the right person?
I can't answer those. I can't make comment, and you'll have to ask our media people to get in touch with Mr. Miller.
Okay. You're stuck between a rock and a hard place, and I think that we've acknowledged that right on air.
Well, I mean, John, I'm here to make sure that, and I work in the Christchurch office. I'm a Cantabrian, and I'm here to make sure that every customer that can prove that their claim is valid, that it's earthquake damage, we are here to put it right. That's my job.
And I guess the people who are most likely now to discover that things were worse than they had initially believed, and EQC had initially believed, and they initially received compensation for, were people who had cosmetic work done. Because if you had major structural work done, then the structural problems had, in most instances, actually been discovered. And there is a growing school of thought that a lot of people who had structural repairs well below cap actually may have issues beneath their floorboards that they, EQC and their insurer, don't know about. Now, Andrew Hooker says EQC must now call all homeowners who are under cap and organise independent inspections or re-inspections. What do you think about that?
I don't entirely agree with that. The underfloor repair program, which was started with the MB inquiry and became the CEDAR underfloor repair program, has taken into account underfloor repairs and all the repairs that went through the Fletchers Technical Hub. That was the MB inquiry that found that roughly a third of the homes that they surveyed, a random survey off the back of some concerns about what was taking place beneath the floorboards in Christchurch, roughly a third, and I'm quoting directly from MB, so this is straight fact, had structural repair work carried out that was non-compliant with the building code. That's right, and all those repairs were put right. And
they were only put right if you knew about them.
No, in addition to that, John, all the repairs that went through the technical hub, which were the underfloor repairs, were also investigated. And for those, the program that became known as CEDAR, run by Fletchers, dealt with all of those. Now, where new underfloor issues are coming to light, we are putting them into our home repair program, or if customers choose and they might not trust us to do their repair, then we are cashing those.
You used the phrase run by Fletchers, and I think that's really material. Are you pursuing Fletchers in any way now? I'm
not going to comment on the Fletchers contract.
I think it's very important, given that $9 billion has been spent in settlements, given that much of this work was led by Fletchers, given that they were the contractor that did more work than any other, that you tell us if you are pursuing them in any way, if there is any form of litigation between EQC and Fletchers.
I can tell you right now that there is no form of litigation. I'm not prepared to comment any further than that.
Why not?
Because I'm not prepared to.
Trish, isn't this material? Isn't this really important? I mean, boy, look, I'm sorry to repeat this. You and everyone know this, but it's 7 years and 1 week since that February earthquake, and we still aren't at a stage of understanding why things aren't quite right.
Well, I think what I can tell you is we did 68,000 repairs. There were 469,000 claims. Of those repairs, there have been a percentage that have come back, and none of them are first-time repairs. So, we talk about waiting 7 years, but not all these repairs have been waiting for 7 years. In fact, only 270-odd claims were lodged before 2016. So, of the ones that we're dealing with at the moment, there is only a very small percentage that have been waiting any longer than 2 years.
Trish Keith, who is the Chief Customer Officer for EQC, we would love to talk to Fletcher Building. Obviously, and we do feel, given how much public money has been involved here, they have an obligation to front for interviews.